racial profiling, false accusations, the abuse of 911 as a weapon against innocent people. This story has all of that, but it also has something more. Justice served with such perfect irony that it feels like divine intervention. When Karen met the FBI chief, she learned that assumptions can be dangerously wrong. Stay with me, because what happened next will restore your faith in karma. And if you're new here, don't forget to subscribe and hit the like button for more stories of justice and truth. Marcus Washington walked through the upscale neighborhood of Potomac Falls, his St. Augustine prep blazer pristine, arms full of library books. At 16, he was student body president with a 4.2 GPA and Harvard acceptance letters waiting at home. But in Karen Whitfield's eyes, he was just another suspicious black teenager who didn't belong. Karen watched from her rose garden as Marcus walked past her colonial mansion. Something about his confident stride bothered her. She didn't recognize him, and in her mind, that meant trouble. She pulled out her phone and dialed 911. "I need to report a suspicious person," Karen said, her voice tight with false urgency. "There's a young black male casing houses in our neighborhood. He's carrying a large bag, probably burglary tools. I think he's planning to break in somewhere." Marcus, completely unaware of the drama unfolding, stopped to help Mrs. Patterson with her groceries. "Thank you, sweetie," Mrs. Patterson said. "Tell your mother I said hello. That FBI job keeps her so busy." If Karen had heard this conversation, it might have saved her from what was coming. 5 minutes later, 3 police cars surrounded Marcus. Officers stepped out with hands on weapons, treating a teenager with textbooks like a dangerous criminal. "Stop right there! Hands where we can see them!" Officer Martinez commanded. Marcus froze, his books scattering on the sidewalk. "I live here. My name is Marcus Washington. I live at 847 Oakwood Drive." "Turn around. Hands behind your back." As the officers began to detain Marcus, a black SUV with government plates pulled up, followed by 2 identical vehicles. The windows were tinted, and small American flags flew from the corners. Officer Martinez's radio crackled. "Unit 23, stand down and await federal response." "Federal response," Martinez muttered, "for a suspicious person call?" The SUV doors opened, and 6 people in dark suits stepped out. From the lead vehicle emerged a woman who commanded immediate respect. FBI Deputy Director Diane Washington wore a crisp navy suit, her badge visible, carrying herself with undeniable authority. She was Marcus's mother. "Officers," Director Washington said, her voice calm but carrying an edge, "I believe you have detained my son." The police officers looked from Marcus to this high-ranking federal official, the pieces clicking into place. "Ma'am," Officer Martinez said, quickly removing handcuffs from Marcus. "We were responding to a call about suspicious activity." "Suspicious activity?" Director Washington's eyebrow arched. "Such as?" "Walking while black in an expensive neighborhood," Marcus said quietly. Karen, who had been watching from across the street, felt her stomach drop as she realized her mistake, but it was too late to disappear. "That would be me," Karen said, approaching with evaporating confidence. "You called the police on my son," Director Washington said. I thought he looked suspicious," Karen stammered. "Suspicious how?" "He was walking slowly, looking around. He was walking home from the library with textbooks, in the neighborhood where he has lived for 3 years." Karen's face reddened. "I didn't know he lived here. So you assumed he didn't belong because—" The question hung in the air. Karen couldn't answer without exposing her racism. "Mrs. Whitfield," Director Washington continued, having read Karen's name from her mailbox, "do you realize you could have gotten my son killed today? Your false report could have escalated into tragedy." The weight hit Karen like a physical blow. She looked at Marcus, really looked, and saw not a threat, but a terrified teenager who had done nothing wrong. "I'm sorry," Karen whispered. "I didn't mean—" "You didn't mean to be racist? To weaponize police against an innocent child?" Neighbors had gathered. Mrs. Patterson shook her head in disgust. Others who knew Marcus looked at Karen with newfound understanding of who she really was. "Mrs. Whitfield," Director Washington said firmly, "my son is student body president with Ivy League acceptances. But even if he wasn't, your behavior today was unacceptable." "I know," Karen sobbed. "I was wrong. Sorry isn't enough. You need to examine why you made these assumptions, why a black teenager with books seemed threatening to you." Mrs. Patterson spoke up. "Karen, I've known Marcus for 3 years. He's helped me countless times, always respectful and kind. What you did was shameful." Director Washington had one final message. "Next time you see a black child in this neighborhood, remember this moment. Remember that they deserve the same presumption of innocence you'd give a white child." That evening, the story went viral. Karen Meets FBI trended, sparking national conversations about racial profiling. Director Washington used the attention wisely. "I shouldn't have to be an FBI deputy director for my son to walk safely through our neighborhood. Every child deserves that protection." Karen chose to learn from her mistake. She reached out to civil rights organizations, participated in diversity training, and became an advocate for change. 3 months later, at Marcus's valedictorian graduation, Karen was in the audience. When Marcus mentioned forgiveness and the power of education to overcome ignorance, she wept. After the ceremony, Karen approached them. "Thank you for teaching me instead of destroying me. You could have ruined my life, but instead, you changed it." Director Washington extended her hand. "People can change, Mrs. Whitfield. You're proof of that." The moral is powerful. Racist assumptions can have dangerous consequences, but they can also create opportunities for growth. Sometimes the universe provides exactly the lesson someone needs to learn. This story shows that prejudice often comes from ignorance, but education and genuine human connection can overcome fear. Most importantly, every child deserves to walk through their neighborhood without being seen as a threat. We hope this story made you examine your own assumptions. What would you have done in Director Washington's position? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If this story opened your mind, hit that like button and share it with others. Let's spread the message that understanding can overcome prejudice. Thank you for watching. God bless you, and we'll see you in the next story.